How's this week been for you in terms of trying to lift everybody after what happened at the weekend again?
I think sometimes you don't need to say too much as well. With the disappointment straight after the game, but then when you see what faces you ahead, when the players come back in, there's been that anger, disappointment at the start of the week, but also the opportunity that sits in front of us. I've really felt it this week in training, a little bit biting training. People are chomping at the bit to try and get into the team because we're not winning games, so everybody's putting their hand up trying to get into the team, and it's been really healthy this week for that point of view.
Is discipline a problem? You've spoken, particularly about a couple of red cards that's come recently, but in terms of defensive discipline as well, and losing those 2 goals, particularly on Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, I can't sit and say discipline is discipline a problem. I think when we go down to 10 men, the decision making we're making at times is definitely a problem that we need to fix. We know that. I've said many times, well, nobody does these things on purpose. I think even the context of Joe's second yellow card, there's nobody more disappointed than him. He feels that, and rightly so, because he knows he shouldn't do what he does. But then, as I've mentioned a lot since the game, spoke to the players, during these times when we do make mistakes, this is when you need to rally around. Your teammates need to work even harder, to go extra lengths to make sure that you dig your mate out of a hole, and I think that's something we need to definitely get better at. And all you can do is address the issues as quickly as you can and talk about them and try and learn from them as quick as you can.
When does it become a crisis, or is it one already?
No, it's not a crisis. I think, listen, it needs to be better. I think we all know that. As I've said to the players, we're not looking for excuses at all. We're not using the fact that we went down to 10 men in the last 2 games as an excuse for not getting results in the last 2. Does it play a factor? Of course it does. I think momentum in games, there's all sorts of things that go that way against you at times. But we also know what's in the group. We also know how good we can be when we do get it right. And I've still got that firm belief in everybody involved that we will turn it around.
These are the type of games that, regardless of where you are in the league, a group of fans, whether it be Hibs fans or Hearts fans, can go away happy. Do you get that? Do you put that message out there, forget the league position, just go and win the game on Sunday? Yeah,
I think absolutely. I think you can't forget the league position in terms of it's something we're focusing fully on ourselves. So where we find ourselves at the moment isn't good enough, and we all know that. That's what makes it even more frustrating after the game when you look at the league after it and you say, right, well, it's not good enough, we know that. But it's a great opportunity to change that. Like you've just touched on there, it'll be a full house at Easter Road. Really need the fans to be right behind us, which I know they will be. They can really play a part in driving us at the start of the game. I'll never forget, even coming back to Easter Road after the Scottish Cup run we had, coming back to the second leg at Easter Road, and the way that we started the game with the fans right behind us really gave us an extra bit of motivation and drive, and I really felt it on that day, and we need it to be the same way again, right for the first whistle on Sunday. But like we've already said, what lies in front of us is just one game that we need to, whether it's the first game of the season, last game of the season, like you've touched on, bottom of the league where we find ourselves at the moment, the Derby games are special. They're special games to play in. The one you always look for, all the fans will look for straight away, regardless of who's where in the league. You could be top of the league versus bottom of the league. It doesn't make it any easier or any more in favour of another team. There have been different divisions before when you play it. I know what it means to everybody involved, and it's one that I'm really looking forward to for that reason.
Finally for me then, you mentioned just how great these games are for as a spectacle. The players on the pitch, so do they have to be calm? Do they not have to get embroiled in what's going on all around them with the noise, with the fans and the supporters, etc.? And there has to be a calmness.
100%. You need to be calm in the chaos, definitely. You can't allow your emotions to get the better of you or be reckless within the game, 100%. I think once the game starts though, it's using the momentum and the motivation of what's at stake and what we can get from the game and feeding off the crowd. I think that's something I always loved as a player. I think the extra noise and enthusiasm to drive you forward can really be a real bonus, and we need to make sure we have that in the game.
You think about the best results that you had against Hearts as a player, what were the key ingredients in those performances?
Listen, I think sometimes it goes against sometimes the form guide, it can go against who's playing better, who's got the better team on the day, or what you think of going into the game. The one thing I've always thought going into these games is you need to believe you can win. I think that's key, regardless, whether you're home or away. I already know what's at stake, having played in them, experienced them. I think, as I said to the players already, they should be really looking forward to it. They should really look forward to the challenge. This is why you come and play. It's the games that when you do get a positive result that you remember forever. I'll never forget the Derby games that I've played in, been very fortunate to do that. And that's the message to the players. You need to look forward to it and relish the challenge, because it is a challenge, but it's one they should all look forward to.
Hearts a difficult team to analyse the changes and the tweaks that Neil Critchley's brought in there.
Listen, they've got a game to focus on before they play us. They play tonight, so we'll obviously watch that very closely to make sure we see what's going on. They'll have the flip side to that is they've got a new manager in charge, so their players will be trying to impress the new manager and trying to get into the team. That's always a challenge when a new manager comes in, but our full focus has been purely on us and how best we can go and make sure we get the right result, because we know exactly what's ahead of us and what we need to do that.
It's a hell of a chance to really change the atmosphere, change the narrative, I guess, around the start that Hibs have made, come away with 3 points, and the way that's going to make the fan base feel, and I'm sure that the players as well. Yeah, absolutely. That's the challenge, that's the opportunity. I think that's the big word I've used a lot this week. It's an opportunity to change things. Football, very fine margins is what we're experiencing at the moment. And a lot of that can be flipped the other way. So if you look at the goals we've lost late on in games, if we held on, red cards, the excuses are there if we want them, but one thing I've always been very consistent with is we're not looking for excuses. We know we need to be better. And this is an opportunity to try and change that, and how quickly things can change if we do get 3 points this weekend and really push on for there.
How have you found this period on a personal level? So the setbacks of the last few weeks, the league position, what have you, so early in your managerial career?
I wouldn't say they're enjoyable, that's for sure. I'm not enjoying it at all from the frustration you get during the game, but then I think it's about, as I've mentioned a few times, being measured through it all, trying not to be too high when it's good and too low when things don't go the way you are. So is there enough positives in the game to make you think you're doing things right? I'll always judge myself firstly. Was the information I gave right? Decision makings I made during the game on reflection? And then the flip side to that straight away, first day back into work, is how can you make the players better again? So working on the areas we need to improve, individual meetings, individual group meetings, all these things to try and get to where we need to get to. Because as I've said before, I've got a very good squad here, lacking a wee bit of confidence at times maybe in certain things, but at the same time in a good place in terms of fitness levels, a good place in terms of togetherness within the group. And it's about now relaying that onto the pitch and making sure we turn the performances into results, because that's what we get judged on at the end of the day.
When you look at the bigger picture, when you can see in the dressing room, how confident are you that things will look brighter a few weeks, a few months further down the line? Yeah,
very confident. And I think that's because of the hard work we're doing. I feel it on Monday when we came back in here. People are hurting straight away because they know we can be doing better in terms of results. We're being judged on results, which is rightly so. That's what you get paid to do. There's a big difference between being a football player. You don't just get paid to play football. I don't just get paid to coach the team. I get paid to win games of football. That is the ultimate challenge that it faces us as players and as staff, and I think we all know that, and we all need to be doing better to make sure that we can get that.
Team news, any changes from last week apart from Joe being out?
Obviously Joe will be out. Chris Cadden obviously picked up an injury in the game. We'll just see how he goes. And then Nicky's getting closer all the time as well, but apart from that we're looking quite strong.
Is Nicky out for Sunday?
Not entirely, no.
Right, that's back.
Yep, Nectar will come back obviously from suspension. It seems to be the way it is at the moment. One comes in and then one goes out again. But like I've already touched on then, we've got good strength and depth, but it's all well and good saying that. We need to make sure we're changing seeing the performances right through and taking what we're doing on the training pitch into the game and making sure we turn this run into a positive one starting the weekend.